Hello everyone. Today I will be making a full step-by-step guide on how to start your own Minecraft server, but before we get started I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched and commented on my last video. You guys are amazing, and you all only had nice things to say, which is why I'm going to come back and try to make a more in-detailed video. So let's get started. The first thing I guess we're going to work on is going to be port forwarding. So what you're going to do is you're going to open a new browser. You're going to type in your local IP, which generally is just 192.168.1.1. It'll bring you into a login. If you don't know your login, you can simply look at the back of your router, and if it's not there, you can call your local service provider and they should be able to give you the details. Alright, you're going to see a lot of information. Every router is going to look different. In my case, I want to go to Network Settings and go to NAT. And the first tab under NAT is Port Forwarding. What you're going to want to do here is create a new rule. Service name is going to be Minecraft, or whatever you want it to be. The starting port is 25565. The end port is 25565. And the translation start and end port are just going to be the same. They don't matter. And the server IP address, where you're going to find that is you're actually going to open a command prompt. You're going to type in IPCONFIG. And you're going to see IPv4 address right there. And it's going to be what we're going to fill in right here. Once you have that filled in, it's going to be protocol TCP UDP, and then we'll click enable and then OK. This should be all you need to do in your router. However, I will say if you are using two routers in your house, one in a main room and one that you're wired into, say in a bedroom, you will have to port forward both routers. I have done this in the past. Basically, you'll do the same thing as this on your main router, but on your secondary router, if that's what you're wired into, you're going to go on its web page, create a new rule, and you're actually going to use the router IP address on your basic router. I'm not going to go too much more into detail on that. If y'all have two routers, I might make a small video on just showing what it looks like to set up two different routers. But with that, we are done with the browser section. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to our firewall settings. This is to make sure that if somebody tries to connect to my computer, my firewall isn't going to block them. So what we can do here is we'll go to inbound rules, new rule. It's going to be port, next. We're going to do TCP first, and for the specific port, we're going to do 25565. We're going to click next, allow this connection, next, and it can be domain, private, and public. We'll just name this server. We're going to create a second new rule under inbound rules. It's also going to be port, but this time it's going to be UDP. Then it's going to be 25565. Allow this connection, next, domain, private, public are all checked. Server 1, because they all can't be the same name. Then we're going to go over to outbound rules. We're going to click new rule and do the exact same thing that we just did two more times. TCP 25565. Difference is under outbound rules, it automatically sets to block the connection, so you do want to make sure that you click allow this connection. We can name it server again. And then one last rule, port, UDP, 25565, allow this connection, server 1. And that should be all of the steps you need to do for port forwarding. The next step is going to be actually creating the server itself. I'm going to be using CurseForge for that, but I'm just going to get everything cleaned up and ready for that, so I will cut the video really quick. Alright, I now have CurseForge pulled up. I'm going to just pick the first one off the top. Well, actually, I'm going to go with the second one because it is Forge. I'm more familiar with Forge than Fabric, but I do believe that setting up the server is just about the same. This is going to be the latest version of Minecraft, so this is 1.18.1. That way, just in case you haven't seen how to do it on this one, or if there's any different steps, I can make sure that we take care of that versus old videos, which might be a little bit different. But we'll wait for this to install. Alright, once it's installed, I'm going to go back over to My Mod Packs, find the Better Minecraft Forge that we just installed, and there is an icon right here that says Download Server Pack, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. It's going to take me to a browser and start installing it. I'm just going to go ahead and drag that to the desktop. On my desktop, I'm going to right-click, New, Folder, and I'm going to name it Better Minecraft. We'll open up this folder and open up this download that we just did. And then what we can do is we can just click this folder, extract to, and look for the Better Minecraft folder that we just did. Doesn't take very long to extract. I'm going to go ahead and just drag all of this out of the folder and post it to the root of the folder, which is just the very first page. And I'll just get rid of that. And then let's see, there is a README text. Opening that up will give you a link to the most recent version of Forge. So we can just go there. And then just in case, we do want to double check which version of Forge this is actually running on. So to check that, you can come back over here and you see it's Forge 39.0.5, which is the latest release, 39.0.5. So we'll click the installer and we'll wait our 5 seconds for the ad to come up. Wait for this to finish. And now we can click it. We're going to click Install Server. We're going to change the directory to the the new folder we just made on our desktop. And then click Install Server. Alright, now that it is finished back up, we can just click OK. We'll open our server back up. And you'll see there's a run.sh and a run.bat file that is in here. I don't use the sh, some people prefer it. I just don't have the software to actually run servers off of it, so I am going to use the bat file, which is just a command prompt. So we'll run that, and we see here that it says it requires a configured version of both JVM, really all this nonsense. What it means is I need to update to the latest version of Java. In this case, because this is in the most recent version of Java, I need to actually get Java 17 versus what most people have is Java 8. Java 8 works all the way up through 1.14. I believe at 1.16 it might start changing and you have to update it. But we'll just go ahead and go into a web browser. I will post this link in the description. This is going to be Java 17, and what I want is the 64-bit installer. We'll see that that is starting down here. We'll go ahead and launch that. It'll open up the wizard. We'll just next through all of it. And then it has been successfully installed, so we can now close. Sorry about that, had to fix all of my notifications popping up over there. But now that it is installed, I'm going to try to run this one more time. And we can see this time it is loading the new files. So now at the bottom you see you need to agree to the end user license agreement to run the server. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this eula.txt, and we're going to change the false to true. Save. And we'll try to open the server one more time. Alright, we can see that both servers have started successfully. We do have a command prompt server and the Minecraft server itself. I am going to try to show how to get rid of this so that you only have the command prompt, and I'm going to show how to dedicate extra RAM to it. Alright, so the next thing we're going to want to do is get rid of the no graphical interface, and we want to also add extra RAM. So if you go down here to the user JVM arguments, we can see right here that says uncomment the next line to set it. So what we're going to do is get rid of the comment. I'm going to change the 4 gigs to 16. I do have a good amount of RAM, so I'm going to save it there. And since I do not want the white graphical interface, what I'm going to do is actually rename this batch file to a text file. Going to open it up, and you can see right here, add custom program arguments such as nogui to the following file next to the lines before the present sign. So I added it right here. Then we can just save out of it, exit, and then whenever we rename this back to a bat file and start it, we shouldn't have the white interface that came on top of the command prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and just skip forward to that, and we'll see if it works. Alright, as you can see, the server is started, and there is no longer the graphical interface that was here before. It is only the command prompt. So we are almost there. There's a couple more things we need to do, but we now have a running server and we have port forwarded. So I'm going to go ahead and type in stop. Go ahead and close out of that. We're going to come back here. I'm going to delete the world because I am changing a couple of things. We're going to go to server properties. And if you remember earlier in your command prompt, we had that IPv4 address that was right here. We're going to type that in under server IP. So and this is just a local server IP address. Nobody can hack you off of this. However, your public IP address, which is what you'd see if you go into Google and type in what's my IP, or the address that you need to send to your friends in order for them to connect to your server, that you have to be careful with. Only send it to trustworthy people. Don't show it over the internet. But we'll have that set here. Port is going to be 25565. It automatically fills that in. I always set allow flight to true. In this case, it is already set to true. The reason being is because some mod packs have baubles that allow you to hover or fly for a short period of time, and the server will kick you out if you use those. I always set my difficulty to hard. And if you want to, you can go find the world type, and you can change it from default to, I like to use amplified, but depending on what mod pack you're playing, it could also be biomes of plenty, or it could be maybe even a super flat if you're just doing a creative. But we are done here, so I'll just file and save, and then I'm going to start the server one more time. Make sure that everything starts correctly in this. Alright, so the server is started up, and I went ahead and checked and made sure it was online. I did make a mistake while doing this, and I do want to show the mistake that I made, just in case it happens to any of y'all that followed exactly what I did. So under command prompt, when I did my IP config, I accidentally copied the VirtualBox IPv4 and put it in my server properties when I actually needed the Ethernet adapter Ethernet 2, which is this address. It is a different address. Because I mixed those two things up, it did cause it to not work at first. But if you want to check if your server is online without actually having somebody join it, what you can do is go to a place called canyouseeme.org. Type in the port to check, which is 25565. Check port, and as you can see, success. there is a port. Your ISP is not blocking the port, and you can actually see in the server right here that it did try to, or that it got pinged. So I'll ping it one more time, and you'll see there's some stuff that called twice. But with that being done, you can go ahead and open up your Better Minecraft. And one last thing I would like to share before I start Minecraft. Under CurseForge, if you click this left settings icon at the bottom, click Minecraft, and scroll down, you'll see here that you actually have Java allocated memory settings. And I set mine up here to about 11 to 12 gigs. That way, I know that some people, before they actually start this, will click over here, go under installations, they'll edit their installation, and they'll actually change how much RAM that the server can use this way, or that your computer can use. But if you don't want to do that every time, CurseForge does have that option for you. We'll go ahead and click play and get it loading. Alright, now that Minecraft has started, I can come over here. I've already typed in the server. We can go ahead and try to join it and see if it works. You should see here that it shows my UUID of my player that I am joining and then is attempting to join the game. And there we go. You have now created a server from start to finish. I do want to go over a couple more things with you guys. I forced it to crash. Let's say for a second that when you did Better Minecraft under CurseForge, let me get everything cleaned up here. My desktop's a mess. Alright, let's pretend for a second that whatever server pack you chose doesn't have this download server pack. Doesn't mean that you can't make a server out of it, so what I'm going to do is actually get rid of all of this. I'll just delete the whole folder. I'm going to create a new folder, name it Better Minecraft. And then what we're going to do is check the Forge version right here. So since it is 39.0.5, I can click the latest. If it's a different version, you can scroll and look around at all the different versions. I'll click Installer. I'll wait my 5 seconds of add time. Then I'll skip it. Once it's done loading, I will go ahead and launch this. I'm going to click Install Server. We're going to find what I just made on my desktop. So I named it Better Minecraft. We're going to click OK. We'll let this run. Alright, once it's finished, you can click OK, and we'll go ahead and open this. You can see we have a run.bat, run.sh, and the user arguments again. So we'll uncomment this tab, get rid of the space, add 16 gigs, save that. We will rename this bat file to a text. Double click that, and we're going to add nogui right here after before the %sign. I'm sorry. We'll save that. And then we can come over back here to CurseForge, click these 3 little dots, click Open Folder. What you're going to see here is we want the config file. So go ahead and copy that. Paste it, and we want mods. Then once you have all of that there, we'll rename this back to a bat file. Go ahead and start it. You can see here it crashed because I have not accepted the EULA yet. So we'll set that to true. We'll let this start. So the server did actually crash, and I'm going to try to point out a couple of reasons on why that could be. We've already updated Java, so we know that's not it. But if you scroll down to the bottom of the crash report, you will see that Craft Presence and Skin Layers 3D failed to load correctly, which caused a crash. What that probably means is that is a client-side mod only, and we can just get rid of out of the server, because the server will not load client mods. So we can just try to find Craft Presence. We can delete that. And then we'll find Skin Layers 3D. Which I'm a little blind to. Oh, it's 3D skins. It might be at the top. Yeah, there it is. 3D skin layers. We can go ahead and get rid of that. Close out of the crash. And we'll try to start it one more time. It may crash again. This may be like a trial and error if you got to figure out which mods are client side and which ones you have to get rid of. Sometimes it's as easy as 1 or 2 mods. I won't know for sure until we see the server start back up. You can see that it has crashed again. This time, let's see what it's referencing. Better F3. So we can go back into mods. We can get rid of Better F3. And I'm going to just keep going through this, and I'll check back in once I've got everything that needs to be removed, and we'll show it working. Alright, I have got the server back up and running, and I just attempted to join it, and it did work, but I'm going to show it off one more time right here on video. It was only 3 mods in total. That third mod you saw me remove was the last one you actually had to do. You can see everything works just fine here. Go ahead and crash the world out again. It closes faster that way, which is the reason I do it. And then just to show off that that's what I did, if I come back to our Better Minecraft and I go under mods, you'll see all of these. If I open up the Forge and go under Better Minecraft Forge, you'll see 3D Skin Layers is missing over here, along with those 2 other mods that we did get rid of. It does not cause any problems to remove a client-side mod from a server. Some servers will load client-side mods just fine. I believe older versions of Minecraft it works just fine. And some will crash and you have to actually get rid of them. But there is going to be no difference to gameplay in-game because you, client-side, as in you, these mods only run off of your computer and don't talk to the server. So with that, we have gone start to finish from port forwarding to making a server. The only thing that could be different is if maybe you do a 1.12 world, you'd want to install Forge, and it might look something, see if I can find one of these. It might look something like this whenever you're finished. In this case, you can see I don't have that run.bat. I actually have 1, 2, 3 server starters. And in this case, I had to make a bat file, which I'll make the entire bat file right here just to show you what it would look like. So we'll pretend that we have this forge jar right here. We'll rename it to, we'll just name it bat since that's what I'm doing. I'll make a new text document. We're going to name it start. Under this text document, we'll type in @echo off, enter Java, XMS. It's going to be the minimum amount of RAM that we are allocating, so I'll do 1 megabyte is what I'm putting this under. Java 8, you have to do megabytes. Updated Java 8s, I think you can actually put the G as in for gigabytes, but I'm used to the M, so I'm just going to stick with that. And then I'll do XMX for the most amount of RAM that the server can run, megabytes. Then I'll do -jar, and then next is going to be the name of the forge, which I named it batjar, so it'll be bat.jar, and then no GUI. pause. Then we'll save this, close out of it, rename this to bat. We'll start it, and it does launch this right here. The only difference is there's no libraries inside of it. So if I was to see if I still have that folder open, if I drag this back into here and drag this in there, and I tried to start it, you'll see it's missing all of the stuff that's over here. I wasn't actually trying to use this. It was more of just an example. This is Copolis. This actually runs off of Java 8. Java 17 is incompatible, so I would have to remove Java 17 and go back down to Java 8 in order to run this. If you have questions in the comments with specific mod packs that you're trying to make, I can go through a specific one that maybe a lot of y'all are having trouble with, or try to clear up some insight in the comments if I can. Otherwise, I thank you all for watching again. Last video, you guys were all just extremely nice. You only had nice things to say, and it felt really good to actually wake up and to just see those comments. I felt like I was actually helping people that were having trouble. So, with that, y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.